I was thinking of a start to open with, but I forgot what I was thinking about. I had such a good sentence, but it's already gone. That's it. It's just what is happening. There's no before, there's no after. It seems to be that there's an after. We are so used to have time. And time mentioned. Time means that there's a before, then there's after, there's a past, a future, but also before and after. And when there's a before and after, there seem also to be consequences. So when you have a before, then and you feel like I am someone, then there seems to be like, oh, I did say something, and now she is crying, so that's because of me, something like that. And this message is about there's no time, there's no real time. There's time in the story, of course, but it's apparent, it's not real. And we are so convinced, and sometimes in the story, it's also that we are going on holiday, and then time seems to be different. It's not that solid as when we are working, or and when we have to get up in time, not to be late. There's also just this. That's everything. There's not something after and then that's after that. There's only this, but this is everything, and just normal everything, not everything special, everything. It's just normal. This is so normal. It's just saying that everything, what's happening, is just what it is, and it's everything. It's just everything. So there's nothing outside. There's nothing inside. There's just what is seen, what is felt. That's complete. That's the completeness. Complete doesn't mean it's full on 100% in that sense, of that it's when the emotions are felt like 100%. When it's just felt and there's some cramps in the body, then that's the completeness. That's just what's happening. That's complete. Everything is complete. So there's nothing hiding. There's nothing outside. There's just what is seen. That's everything. But people, and that's more in the story, that people are capable of abstracting. So when the brain is capable of abstracting, like a child 2, something like that, then suddenly it sees like, oh, there's something outside, and so I'm here and there's somebody else outside of over there. And then it seems like, oh, there is a connection, and it's not that much in the brain, but to explain it. So there seems to be a whole world, and everything seems, when there's separation, everything seems to be very solid and real. And that makes everything also very important. And what the most important thing is me, or yourself, because everything is about me. Everything is about yourself having a better life, or wanting to feel good, or trying to take care. But it's always about yourself, about the me. And the me is convinced that there's something wrong. There's something missing. There's something not right yet. And it has to fulfill it. It has to complete it. It has to make it right. And it can be different themes. Some people are more into getting money, or into relationships, or into working on themselves. And in these days, it's more non-duality. A lot of people are now, not that much, but at the meetings, it's still about getting something, or reaching reaching no me, something like that. So that what the me is used to, what you're used to do, and to what is used to get something, thinking about it and trying to do something to get it. That's also happening in non-duality meetings, that you think, oh, how can I get that? How can I be the same as what that person is talking about? Or maybe there's an image about what that's all about, or how that life is about, how it's about life, the life Rose will be. And then you think, oh, I don't have that, so I want that. And the difficulty with this, it can't be understood. It's beyond understanding. It has nothing to do with understanding. Understanding can be nice if you understand what's going on in the story, and that whole me is just a dream. But when there's still that me going on, it still feels like, there are certain maybe patterns going on. And patterns can go on. That has nothing to do with me or no me. That's just in the body, and that can be certain behavior that has nothing to do with the me. It's difficult to explain because there's nothing causing anything. That's strange, because we are so used that this issue is caused by that. We have to take care, because when we don't take care, what will happen? So this is also in the story, there's a lot of going on about control, trying to control what's going on, to have a choice. So a lot of people are very much into choice. It's so strong, having a choice to eat certain food, or having a choice to say something, or having a choice to do what's good for the world or for you. When there's no me, there is no choice. That's very strange to understand. Maybe there is some understanding, and still underneath that, there can be a feeling of there's still a choice. So when that whole thing about that me falls away, it's not me falling away, it's that whole survival system doesn't come up anymore, doesn't work anymore. And there's nothing to escape from. So this is everything full on. It's just what it is. Nothing coming up, trying to change it. It can be anything. It can be irritation, can be fear, can be cold, can be certain circumstances. Circumstances are not real. That's very obvious. It's just circumstance and happening to you, but it's just, oh, I hope it's not unstable anymore. And there's just circumstances. Nothing is real. It's very easy. So, if there's some questions or something to say, there can be also what I know, there can be also low energy, there can be strong energy, there can be joy, there can be anything. It's just what it is. Everything is just what it is. Nothing is wrong, nothing is right. It's just what it is. That's it. Nothing is going anywhere. Nothing has any meaning. It's just what it is. A tree, light. Very simple. But when there's a dream, it's an hypnotic dream about trying to reach something. And it's so simple and it's so normal to abstract. And abstract, I mean like naming everything. Everything is called like, oh, this is happening and what is going on? And oh, that seems like, oh, that has to do with this and that has to do with that. That's so normal. Most of the time it's not even noticed. That's the dream of me. So if there are some questions about that, or we can talk about this, and we'll see what happens.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, William.
I've got a question. So you were saying at the end there that it's very easy in terms of whatever's happening is whatever's happening. But when there's a sense of me, there seems to be a real complication of trying to work everything out for how I need to be in the future in case this happens or the next thing happens or whatever. And always predicting this circumstance could come up, that circumstance could come up. How will I deal with it? Best thing for me to do.
Yeah.
It's not a question of such.
That's just for me.
Yeah.
It's so complicated because the me things, without me, there cannot. It's not possible. So the me has to do it. The me is the big help to the feeling that there's something wrong, and says, oh, I will help. What can we do? And there are a lot of thoughts. Oh, maybe you can do this, or maybe, oh, but if you do that, what will happen then? And then a lot of thoughts coming on, trying to work it out. That's what me is doing, trying to work it out, trying to help to get solutions or something. And the funny thing is, there's no need for that. There's no need. But it's so normal to think, and it's just going on, and it seems so important because that's the me or you think I have to find it. I have to work it out. When there's pain, you think, oh, what's going on? How can I handle that? Or how can I deal with it? Or how can I get rid of that? It's like it has to solve every problem there is. And it can't hear, there are no problems. It's just what is happening.
It's the same as the me when it comes across this communication and it thinks the me is the problem. How am I going to get rid of myself? And then it wants to try and even get rid of itself.
Yeah. That's very smart.
And that's got a new task on.
Like a snail, a snake, like biting it, and and it's running under the behind the table, and oh God, it's senseless. Yeah. That's very smart to try to get rid of the me. Then it will never stop.
Yeah, because it constantly maintains itself through the effort. I'm gonna go to the next non-duality meeting, and then it will be better for me. I'll go to the next non-duality, and then it just maintains itself that way. Yeah.
And it can't do anything different. That's the awful feeling in a way that it's like running and it's running to nowhere. But it seems like there's still some hope. Maybe one day, and then it's going on. It's an endless dream. But it seems so real that there's something to get. That's the normal way of how people live their lives. And they tried to do it with this too, like, there's some me that's the problem, so what can we do about that? That's the normal way of doing, and this is not about doing. So, hey, what is that?
What you said there about it's so, like, it seems so real that there's something to get, because the me thinks there's all these different options of what could happen, and so if I make the wrong choice and I don't get the thing that would have been best for me, I'm going to miss out, and I need to make sure I'm always the thing that will serve me best.
Yeah. But it seems that it's so convinced that choice is made by you, by me, or by you, and then you are responsible. So there are consequences and all that. That's such a dream. It's so strong. You can't say, I don't do that anymore. That's not how it is. So it's so embodied, that way of thinking and believing that there are consequences and you have to do it and I am making a choice. There's no one making a choice. It's just happening. Like that. It's just life, like that. Like that. It's just, and then on top of it, there's someone who's saying, oh, I did that. Oh, why did I do that? There was no one. It's just life. And then when there's a choice and it's not going in the way you want to let it go, then you think, oh, there's a problem because what did I do wrong? That's an endless thing. It's just life. There's no control. There is already no control. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is right either, of course, but nothing is wrong. Can be painful, and there's pain, of course.
I suppose even the sense that something's gone wrong is also just what's happening. So even that's not wrong. The belief that me has that something's gone wrong or something needs to be fixed.
Yeah, it's just thoughts, but they seem very important. So they have a meaning and they have a purpose or something. So they have content. Thoughts seem to have content and meaning, and in that sense, they seem to be important. So, of course, it's just what's happening. But what people do is they adjust. They do something extra with it. So it seems like it's important, and then it's going on, and it becomes very important and stressful because you need all the tension coming, because that's very important. So, yeah.
So in the end, when there's no longer the sense, so in the end, when there's no longer the sense of self, thoughts are just empty. They don't contain any meaning. They don't mean anything. Well, yeah.
It's already like that, but in the dream of me, it seems we think, we add that on top of it, and we think, that is the meaning, that's important, or this is serious, and that's huge belief. It's not a dream to get something or to make life work, something like that. It's already no meaning, of course. In that sense, there's nothing changing. No, it's already this, without any meaning, without any importance. What is said here is also not important. It doesn't matter.
But it has such a free, boundless quality to it that it resonates on that level. It feels so boundless. Just listening, the responses, yeah.
And that the what the me does is that there's always something added on it. This is just saying something without any purpose or without an agenda to make something right or to make something more that you understand it or something like that. But what the me does is on top of it trying to get it, and then there is a lot of effort and there's a lot of tension going on to get it and to try to do it, and If that's not happening, that's, yeah. It's not wrong, but it's just talking about, well, how that works for the me, that it's a lot of tension.
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean that when there's that not going on, that there is never tension. There can be tension, of course, in the body, or suddenly like, yeah, it's just normal. Yeah.
But I think, I'm asking, so the seeking is a different kind of tension to the tension that you're talking about, because the tension of the seeking is like a constant effort to get somewhere, to make it happen.
No, it's just tension, but okay, can you explain? And then there's a lot of things going on, because we're always thinking like, because have a lot of thinking, then there's tension because of that. There's always trying to connect things, like this thinking and trying why I do this, and that's the cause of that tension. So when I get rid of that me thing, then that tension will disappear. That's the same game. It's the same. There's just tension and there's just thoughts. Not because of me, because there is already no me. There is no me. That's just describing how that survival system works, but it's not real. That's the thing, that we can abstract everything so we can understand what's going on. Yeah. But
Thanks very much.
Doesn't mean anything. So, but it's so simple. We're so used to make a story of everything, and also really little stories about, the tension is because of my thoughts or something like that. It's just energy, and it's without any meaning. Life is not having a meaning. It's just happening like that. It's just light and molecules, and how do you say?
And when you say that
Nothing is happening.
When you say that we think that because I had this thought, now there's tension, in that way, there's no connection between something and something else. Like, I had this thought, so I feel tension, or because of this, because of that. There's no connection between.
No, there's no connection. There's just what's happening. That can be tension, that can be thoughts. Because we are always trying to get somewhere, we are looking for a cause. And then we think, when I know the cause, then maybe I can do something about that. So that's going on and going on. And when they're saying there's no time, so there's no cause and effect, like, then that's out of hand. And then, that's a bit frightening, can be frightening, or maybe also relaxing.
So cause and effect is just coming purely out of the need for control, because like I'll think, if I'd said something different, then they would have responded differently. If I hadn't said that, they would have done that, blah, 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 blah. It's a need to understand cause and effect as a real thing, so that I can then use that to have control over.
Yeah, something like that. But it doesn't matter if you understand how it works. Also, it doesn't matter. Maybe it's that, but I'm not sure. That's just what's happening. That's it. And if you understand how the dream works and how the story works and what you're doing, it can be nice, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Thank you, Rose.
Okay. Ja, okay, thanks. Ja, dan moet je even zeggen. I heard somebody had put up the hand.
Yeah,
so
I raised my hand. Rose, yes.
Okay. Okay.
I think I'm doing that way. Another, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I really think I have to make a good choice for buying a new computer.
Oh, yeah. It can be, there can be doing that, but there can be practical things. And work it out or not work it out. I don't know. But it's
also
it's
meaningless.
just happening like that. Yeah, it's meaningless.
Yeah, it's meaningless. Yeah. Yeah. Everything is meaningless. What about
and planning can happen, or thinking about looking at websites can happen. Well, that's just life. It's just what's happening.
But taking care of other people, is that also meaningless? There is,
of course. There's no
when
need to
someone
take
is
care.
ill, when someone is ill, then
there can be taking care, or there can be not taking care. Both can happen. One is that it's not better than something else. It's different.
Yeah.
That's a difficult one for a lot of people. It's just different. It can be painful that somebody is not there for you. Well, that's what's happening. Yeah, of course. That can happen. Everything can happen. We are so into the story, like there's someone and I am someone, and having about behavior. There's so many rules about what's good and what's not good. People are so different. There's some people that say this is good, and other people say the opposite is good. It's endless. There's no good or bad. There can be pain or all feelings.
Sometimes
there's no one.
Yeah, there is no one.
There is no one. There's no one doing it. It's just empty. It seems that there is a body and that's taking care or not, or maybe the people say, oh, it's not good enough. I don't know. Everything can happen.
Yeah, when people say that's not good enough.
Yeah.
I take that personally.
But it's so strong. That's in so many people. It's like there's something deep down embodied, like there's something not good enough. And when that happens in the story, it's confirmed, or it's something else. The story is always about not being good enough, or missing something, or
what is
not doing it right. Sorry?
What is confirmed?
It's always confirmed that there's something wrong, that there's and maybe there's some moment and it's okay, and then it's starting again. That's the story, that's the suffering.
What is confirmed in Dutch?
Bevestigd.
Okay. Yeah.
The suffering is always about that not being right. It's not about justice, or always things like that. There's something wrong. You have to do different. You, or me. And we are so convinced that there's somebody's doing it, or some other people are doing that to you. That's the whole story, the suffering about and when you feel good, then somebody is good, and when you don't feel good, somebody is bad. In simple words. Yeah. There's no good or there's no bad. No, there's just pain or tears or walking. There's no one. It's not that there's a body And inside that, for example, Rose or Anita, there's some, so Anita, and there's, when there's no me, still Anita is just going on. No, there's no Anita.
But it feels sometimes like that the behavior of Anita is.
Yeah, but there's just live Anita-ing. I just can say that. Just live doing that in that Anita form. It seems like, yeah. And that's different as Rose. Yeah, it's just different. And we're so used to compare because we think, oh, that is better. So how can I do that? There is no one. It's just that there's also no real body. So there's no real Anita or Rose. It's just life sparkling around in all kind of ways. Nothing is happening, not really. It's an appearance.
Yeah,
so it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
Anita is not real.
The sadness is also unreal, but
it's real and unreal in the same time. That's strange, but it makes it. That's still there's real and unreal. What's that? Can't understand that. It's apparently real and unreal. And the story is always about this is real. There's just tears or breath in a way. Or drinking coffee. It's the same. It's just different. Something different. It's not more important. Somebody's crying or drinking coffee. It's just different.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really relativating. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Rosemarijn, sometimes I want more appreciation from the surroundings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's also the story about me. Because then you think I will feel better then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a me.
No, that seems to be a me, but yeah, but when there's a feeling of there's someone, and then that seems to be there, of course. That's very strong, that belief, or that there's someone. That's embodied belief. So it seems like there's some desire to get that. That's when we are talking about the story, then you talk about there's a desire that somebody will like you, and there's certain behavior to get that, or things like that. It's just a bit explaining how things are working. It's not the truth, it's just an explaining. But in the same time, there is no me, and there's just this. There's just this. There's no story. There's no before and after. There's only in the story it seems to be like that. There seems to be a desire, and then people are reacting. Because we're so used to a story. And then somebody is saying, oh, there is no story, huh? You can't think outside the story. That's, or it is there, or it's just finished. When everything is real, seems to be real, then there is a story.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's just, that's what's happening.
Yeah. Thank you.
There's a chat. It's impossible to describe the indescribable. We can only talk about what is describable. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that you can't describe it, but that doesn't mean that it's very special. It's just very simple and normal. But it's everything. You could say it hides, this mystery hides by being everything. Because when we look for it, you look for something, and it's everything. It's just everything. Nothing is excluded. But that we are not used to everything. There's always, this is better than that. Or it has to be something, a state or something like that. So no, you can't describe it. Well, it doesn't need to be described because everybody knows, of course. It's just already what's happening. So, but it's so overlaid by an abstract world, and that we have to make things work, and we're missing something. And when that's not there, it's so obvious. It's just like, oh, how could I not see that? It's so obvious. It's more laughing. It's not very big. And at the same time, it's huge. It's like, oh, it's also very normal. Yeah. I mean, everything is obvious, yeah, but not the nothing. No, that it seems like everything is real, so it's obvious. It's like everything is happening, but it's not obvious then that nothing is real. So there's nothing going on. It's just nothing. It seems to be everything in the same time. It's nothing and apparently everything in the same time. And when there's someone and everything is real, there's only everything or something. But when I'm talking about everything, it's just everything. You can't miss it. It's already what is happening. That's the everything. But the everything is apparent. It's not real. God, when I'm talking about this, it's like, oh, you can't understand that, but it doesn't matter because it's already there. It's already the moving of the hands, of the sitting, that's it. Nothing special, not a state of freedom. And yet, it's free. It's a paradox. It's a mystery.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Dave.
Sometimes you hear people talking about forgiveness. So say somebody's done something terrible to you in the past and you don't forgive them, or you're very, very angry, and and you never forgive them, and then they, oh well, it's not good for you, you should forgive them, and that's what, and I'm talking about something that involved you know, that did happen sometime a while ago, and I never forgave them, and other people think, well, you know, get over it, or but from what you're saying, it's like this is all a story. I know this other person, they don't think they did anything terrible. And it feels very unjust, and it caused a lot of stress over a long period of time. And I know, so I haven't seen or contacted this person for a long time, but other people would think it's a shame. And but from what you're saying, it's like there's no need to forgive. I don't have to forgive them. I mean, if I forgive them, okay, but I don't have to. There's no It's all a story.
But there's
the whole
no,
thing.
yeah, but it's not about forgiving.
No.
It's about there's no me. There is no one. So nobody did that to you.
Yeah.
And nobody did that to you. It's just what happened. And there can be anger or pain. And there's a whole story about you did that and that. But that's the story. There can be pain or anger. And there can be not seeing that person, but it's just what's happening.
Yeah. So if I never see this person again, or never, it's over. Mostly I don't think about it, but for a long time it used to come up as a story, and I get emotional about it. I feel angry again.
Yeah.
I'm sure, probably, even though I haven't thought about it for a while, if I talk about it now, I'll probably get angry again. I don't know, but
it can be like can be some thoughts or some memories about what happened, and there can be feelings that can happen.
Yeah.
And that's it. That can happen. That still happens here too. There can be thoughts, and there can be anger or irritation or tears.
So nothing needs to happen. I don't have to concern myself with forgiving if it doesn't come up, or
it's just coming. There is no one, so there's no other person. So that's what we think. There's somebody walking around still. No, it's just this is everything. And when there are thoughts like that, forgiving is a story.
Yeah.
It's about making feel yourself good or the other person. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just there's no one. So everything is new.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Everything is always new.
Yeah.
There is no one, so everything, there's no time, so everything is new.
Yeah.
So there didn't happen anything, it's just new. And there can be a memory, that's what's happening. There can be anger coming and thoughts, and then it's gone, and then that's it.
Yeah. I suppose the part of this is feeling that this is unjust. What happened was unjust. And there's no justice in it, and
that's a difficult one.
Yeah.
But that's the same as responsibility.
Yeah.
When there's someone, there seems to be justice and responsibility, and you have to take care or things like that.
Yeah.
But life is like a lion.
Yeah.
It's just going. It's just like that, and there can be anger, of course. It doesn't mean you have to do something about that. It's just when that's happening, then when there's just talking to that person again, maybe that will happen. Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, I've had opportunities. They live a distance, and I've had opportunities to meet up, which involved other people, and I've avoided that because I felt I would be so angry, I would ruin it for other people.
But that seems like that's the story and your choice. But it's only that there is no meeting. So that when there's coming up and then it doesn't happen. So has nothing to do with choice. That's the story with that. We're making so quick. It's going so quickly that whole story. I won't do that. And da 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 da.
Yeah.
It's just not happening. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no one.
Yeah. There's also the long-term consequences, which I can see that, it would have been, so there's some consequences that I can sort of see now that would have been different if things had happened in a different way. Yeah, I am hearing what you say, but I'm just saying this is part of the story. Mostly I don't think about it, but it came up as you were talking about something else.
Yeah.
So the other thing is feeling, in the midst of all this, feeling a little bit guilty that I'm holding on to this for so long. and maybe I
yeah.
should, you know, be nice and put it behind me, you know, and start again.
But that's still the feeling that there's someone, and
Yes,
that
yes.
there's a choice to do things not or to do
Yeah,
it
yeah.
to do it. There is no one. So guilt is part of the me also. Of course,
Yeah, yeah.
that's the whole story about doing wrong
Yeah,
and doing
yeah.
right. There's no one.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
so deeply embodied that there's something going on you have to do or not to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And I suppose there's also a story about the other person who has a different story about what happened.
Maybe you don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't know that there is no
No.
one. There is no other person.
No,
That's
okay.
that we hold on to things that happened, and that person is walking around with things. There's no one. There's only what is happening. There's this room. That's it. There are no children or friends. There's just this.
Yeah.
It's strange.
It feels a little bit harder to take this in when I was so angry.
Yeah.
And it took a long time for it to lessen. And even, yeah. So, and I know that this makes it all the more seemingly real and
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, you can say everything like, oh, everything is okay, and then suddenly somebody does something or says it, and zoom, like it's all going again, of course. Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
And there's a chat. Nothing is not something. Wait. Nothing is not something and is unknown, but can be sensed or seen. One moment. Nothing is not something. No, nothing is just nothing. Nothing is not something and is unknown, but can be sensed or seen by anything else. Nothing can't be seen. It's just nothing. It's just nothing. But there can be everything, or apparently everything, that can be seen. Nothing is nothing. Yeah. It's a difficult sentence. Nothing is not something and is unknown, but can be sensed or seen. It's not sensed. Nothing is just nothing. You can't say what it is, of course. No. Just, yeah. It's the same like everything. You can't say what everything is, but there's nothing. Doesn't matter. Nothing needs to get worked out or to understood or to let you understand what's going on in your life or what is nothing or what is the mystery or something like that. It doesn't need to know that. It's just walking is it. That's it. Nothing more than that, or being angry. It's so simple, and that the mind and the me loves that it's complicated, and then can think about it, and how can I do that, and what is this, and maybe I understand this, and read a book about that. That's what the me wants, that it's just surviving and surviving and surviving. And this is the death. This is death of the me. It doesn't want that. So there's always something going on about what's going on, or this is not just, or oh, now I understand, and what can I do about that? It's always like something, and it's just that simple, just coughing or drinking tea. Yeah. It's already there. We don't need to do these meetings. It's not necessary to come here. It's already there.
But there is dissatisfaction.
Sorry,
What's
that?
dissatisfaction?
Attraction.
Dissatisfaction.
Dissatisfaction. Yeah, that's what's going on with me, that it's not satisfied. Yeah. Wants to feel good.
Okay, thank you.
It's just what it is. It's not about, this message is not about good or bad or alive, working. It's just describing that it's just what is happening. It's very literally just describing, nothing more than that. Nothing adding something on it, but it's just describing what it is. And we are not used to that because we are so used to a little story and something adding it on. The me is already added onto it and looking at it and trying to work it out, name it. So this is strange for most people, that there's nothing going on. It's just talking about this is what's happening, very literally. And for the me, it's also difficult to hear that nothing has any meaning, because for the me, for when there's a person and living your life, everything seems to have meaning and purpose, because without meaning, how can we live? You can. It's very easy. funny that I'm seeing myself. I'm sitting in front of a computer and somebody sees it, somebody talking to that computer, and suddenly a voice comes out of the computer. That's the only thing that's happening. There's no one, there's no other people there. It's just talking to that computer, hearing a voice, talking.
So maybe I am too much of the time too serious.
But it doesn't matter. It's not wrong to be serious. It's just that. That's another question. Is it the same for you, a voice coming out of a computer, or if somebody is sitting next to you in the room? It's different. No, it's different. It's just different. There can be a preference. I like it more that people are sitting in the room and we're talking together. I like that more. But it's just different.
Hi.
Ooh, hi. It's very hard.
Why do you think it's different?
I'm not thinking it's different. It's just different. No. This is sitting here, and I can't compare it. I don't know. This is this is sitting on the computer, and then there's somebody there. A body is there, but not different in the way that it's. It's just. It's difficult to say because I don't know how it is. It's just this is feeling like this. It's not like feeling something. It's just not talking here and then. It's the same different. And when I'm drinking tea in my own, that's also different. In that sense, different. There can be a preference like that. But when there's a preference, it doesn't mean that it will happen. It's a different energy. I could say that. It's different when we're in a group here, seemingly group here. And it's different when there's a group sitting together. That's a different energy. But it's not better. It's, no, I can't say it's better.
So you're doing live groups again? You're seeing people in person again where you are?
No, in Holland it's still not possible to do it.
Oh, it's still not.
Because I did it in my room, and you have to do the 1.5 meters. So we do it maybe in September. It's starting again. But yeah.
Hopefully.
I hope it's September, October. We're starting again with other groups, and maybe we do the Zoom also because that's not a lot of people can't come to Holland yet.
Yeah.
So we do the Zoom, but. I like to do it with groups and sitting together with people. It's just different. I like that. This was coming because of the corona. We were doing this, so that's okay. Then we can still a bit do the talking together. So that's nice. I like to talk about this.
I like to listen. So thank you.
Ah, okay, thanks.
So I'm here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And my thoughts are here, or they're not anywhere. They're just happening. Right? The thoughts that are happening are not in my head. They're just happening.
Yeah, they're just happening. Yeah. Yeah, because we're so convinced that there's a solid body, and everything happens, what happened like thoughts or feelings is happening inside. But it's just happening in space, and even the body isn't real. It seems like it's real. I can see your body too, of course, but it's apparently real, and everything is just happening somewhere. So there's not somebody who's having those thoughts or having those feelings. It's just happening in space. It's crazy. Yeah.
But it just feels like they're mine because I can hear them, but you can't. So it feels like they're mine.
Yeah. It's very convincing. Yeah. It's a mystery how that works. I can't say how that works. That's amazing that it's so hypnotic that it seems, oh, it's my thoughts because you can't hear it, so you can't feel it. Some people can feel other people's feelings, maybe sometimes. So somewhere there's something going on, but we can't get it because it's so when it's so convincing that the feeling are in the body, you also experience it like that. You feel it in your arm or so. And in the same time, it's not really like that. It's just somewhere. When you close your eyes, you can't even say it sometimes. So it's the same with sound. You don't know where it exactly comes from, where it is. That's strange. And when somebody is in the room, there's an energy exchange from one body to another, maybe. Yeah, but it's not, yeah, I think it's what my experience is, but that's just me, that it's stronger there, because then it's more, I don't know why, but when there's bodies around, then it's just stronger than only with the computer. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
So nothing matters and sadness can arise.
Yeah. Anything, yeah. Nothing matters, no. Just a feeling or a sadness or a sensation somewhere. It's not your sensation. We are so convinced it's ours. It's just, maybe it's not even calling it, like giving it a name, like a sensation somewhere. And then it's gone again. Like a bird is singing and there's a sensation and there's coffee.
There is a chat.
Oh, sorry. How's it going with the English version of your book? Oh, it's not going. I don't hear anything from the publisher, so I don't know. They said we will not, if you don't hear anything after a few months, then it will not be published. It's a bit strange. They don't send an email, but so maybe I have to look for another one, for another publisher. Hmm.
Or you could just put the English version as "this is it," and that would be the English version.
But
The English version is "this is it."
This is it. That's it. Okay. Every page the same. I have already that people are saying about my book in Dutch. Some people are saying, but it's saying the same thing again and again. In some ways, it's like that. Maybe said in all different kind of ways. But when I was reading it for myself, and the book was nearly finished, and you have to read out what's already said, and then I would read it for like 20 times, and at the end I was saying like, oh, it's saying everything the same. Maybe I have to, maybe a lot of things I have to put out because that's always the same. And then some people said, no, don't. Yeah, it's that. It's always saying that, of course, but in different ways. This is a very dull message. It's just, yeah. You can't do anything. You can't. It's just nothing. The message is saying this is it. But a lot of people say, yeah, end. No end. That's strange. That's strange.
Can you tell quickly the story about when you were riding the bike again?
The bike.
Yeah.
Oh, the story about riding my bike. When it was jumped forward or something. That I don't know the story. I was riding on my bike and then I was thinking about. I was always thinking like I am a very fiery person, so I thought, oh, it's good to be silent and quiet, and people like not to move so much, but just quiet but it was very difficult for me. I did a lot of effort to reach that. And then I was like, also when I was hearing this in Nonduality, I thought, oh, that's it. And then I was always thinking it's about relaxing. So I have to lay back. That's what I thought. I had to lay back and just relax and don't do so much and don't move so much. But it's just getting more silent. And I was driving on my bicycle. And then suddenly something just jumped my body. It was just put it forwards. And then it was before this all happened. And then it was suddenly like, oh, this is it. I couldn't say why, but it was immediately very clear that it was the same story, like relaxing and doing that. And it was just there. It doesn't mean that you have to sit like that on the bike, but it was suddenly like, oh, you can make up in your mind such stories about how it will be, it has to be. And it was completely the opposite. I couldn't imagine that the way I was, like fiery and chaotic sometimes and forgetting things, that's it. I thought, no, that can't be it. But it was. It is just that. Then there's that character, and then maybe there's another character that's very quiet. Then that's it. It's just the way how the character is. Nothing needs to change. That's, for me, that was really, I knew that, and in the same time I couldn't hear it also. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So a lot of times I know it's not like something you can apply non-duality, but it's like I just notice the stories all the time now. I always notice like, oh, there's the story that I'm telling myself. Something happens and then I tell myself a story. And that's the story. Yeah. The story is that happened, so it means this. This is what it means.
Yeah.
You know, there's always a story. There's always the mind saying something about it and it meaning something. And I'm like, it's so freeing for me because those stories, they lead to suffering unless you say, oh, that's a story and it doesn't need to make me suffer. I just could see, or maybe it does make me suffer, but it's just, I could see it now. Oh, look at that story. It's like a storybook. It's like a storybook. Yeah. Like once upon a time and everything that happened is, and then this happened and this is what it means. And it's like watching a movie. It's like always saying something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes when it's very strong, then somebody is saying something or doing something that gives a lot of emotion. Then you can't say this is a story. Oh, this is a story, because then you're really drawn into it. Yeah.
Yeah, but then after it's calmed down, you look
And
back
then
and
it's
say,
gone.
wow,
Yeah,
I was
then
really
it's
drawn
gone.
into that story.
Yeah, and then it's gone. But that's how it goes. Yeah, that's how it is. It can be here too. There can be suddenly just an irritation. Then it's gone. It's always like that. Yeah. Mm.
But sometimes the stories last, and then they come back and they keep saying, oh, she shouldn't have said that. Oh, I can't believe I said that. Oh, and they keep coming back and coming back and coming back. Oh, I need to fix it.
Yeah, it can be very strong. Sure. Everything is aliveness. Aliveness is just what's happening. And sometimes I, or maybe other people, call it joy. Life is joy. But sometimes joy, that seems to be that's misunderstood, like there's just always like, oh, joy. But it's, maybe you could, the joy is the aliveness. And aliveness is just everything. It's just alive. And that can be also in fear or in low energy. That's very much alive also. And it can be anything. So it can be really into a story, and it's just, but everything is aliveness. It's not, nothing is going on, and it's you can't even describe it. You can't pick it up. You can't take it home. What is, it's just this, and this is just always new. So you can't take it because it's already something else. And it doesn't matter to know it, because it's no point knowing it, because knowing, an sich, knowing is, it's just thoughts. It's just something that can happen, but it doesn't matter. It's like, you can also say a cup of tea is very important. It doesn't matter. It's just tea. It's just knowing. That's it, and it can be there or it cannot be there. There's nothing has any meaning. Nothing has any reason. So life is without reason, without purpose, without reason. It's just aliveness, just what it is. And that aliveness is always complete. So always it is already complete. So nothing needs to be fixed or to be done, or it isn't wrong, because it's already complete, like it is. Life is exactly what it is. It can't be wrong. It doesn't need fixing. It's just perfect. And that doesn't mean it feels good. It can feel like irritation, or like anger, or pain, or happiness. It's always new. There's no before, there's no after, there's no time. And there's no one. So there's no one to look for. There's nothing to take care of. It's just how it is. Thank you. Thank you.